If you've ever bent down to touch forest soil, you'll know what real life beneath the surface feels like. It crumbles like chocolate cake, holds moisture like a sponge, and smells of deep earthiness. Here's the surprising part. This rich humus wasn't built by compost bins, tumblers, or store-bought fertilizers. It was created by something much simpler: fallen leaves. And the truth is, you can recreate this ancient natural process in your own garden without the heavy lifting of compost piles. This forgotten technique is more than just a clever gardening trick. It's one of nature's most powerful soil-building tools. Used by indigenous farmers, early settlers, and forest gardeners for centuries, burying leaves directly into the ground produces healthier soil, deeper roots, and stronger plants. Let's uncover how this works, why it beats compost in the long run, and how you can start today with nothing more than what falls from your trees. Step into any forest and you won't see piles of shredded greens and browns being turned every week. Nature works differently. Leaves fall, settle, and stay put. Over time, fungi and microbes break them down into humus, a soft, spongy material that feeds the soil for years. That's why forest floors stay fertile decade after decade without anyone managing them. There are no tools, no bins, and no formulas, just leaves, time, and biology. This method is slow compared to composting, but it's also steady, sustainable, and produces fungal-rich soils that outperform quick-rot compost in the long run. Dry leaves are packed with carbon, lignin, and trace minerals. On their own, left exposed, they can blow away, dry out, or block air and water if they mat on the soil surface. But when buried a few inches under the soil, they enter a different world, a moist, protected zone where fungi thrive. Fungi, particularly saprophytic fungi, feed on these leaves, slowly transforming them into humus. Unlike compost, which is largely bacterial and breaks down fast, humus built through fungi is long-lasting. It improves soil texture, binds particles together, and increases water-holding capacity dramatically. A 2022 Soil Ecology Society study found that soils enriched with humus from leaf decay held water longer, supported greater microbial diversity, and showed stronger resistance to drought compared to soils amended only with compost. That's why gardeners who bury leaves often notice their plants stay greener, healthier, and less stressed during dry spells. The beauty of this method is its simplicity. You don't need special equipment, just a little space in your garden and some fallen leaves. Choose a spot in your garden that feels depleted, dry, or compacted. Loosen the top 4 to 6 inches of soil with a hand trowel. Scoop out enough to create a shallow cradle. Take your leaves, maple, oak, apple, or mulberry work well, and place them inside. Avoid black walnut and eucalyptus unless aged for several months, since they contain compounds that slow plant growth. To speed up decomposition, spray the leaves lightly with 2 to 3 cups of water for every small pile you bury. For best results, sprinkle a thin layer of compost, garden soil, or worm castings on top of the leaves before covering them back with soil. This step doesn't add nutrients, it introduces microbes that kickstart the breakdown. Once everything is tucked back in, press gently, water the area with about half a gallon, and leave it alone. No turning, no stirring, no checking. Within weeks, microbial life increases noticeably. Research from Cornell University's Soil Health Lab shows microbial activity can rise by over 40% in areas where organic matter like leaves is buried directly. That's life beginning again in the soil without extra effort from you. Compost is, well, a quick shot of nutrients. It's bacterial dominant, breaks down rapidly, and feeds plants for a short burst before, fading away. That's why compost often needs to be reapplied every season. Leaf-built humus, on the other hand, plays a different game. It is fungal dominant and forms slowly, but once established it lasts for years. Fungi are the marathon runners of the soil world. They create stable structures underground, improve water retention, and even form special relationships with plant roots known as mycorrhizae. In these exchanges, fungi deliver hard-to-reach nutrients like phosphorus and trace minerals directly to the roots while receiving sugars in return. A University of British Columbia study found that plants grown in fungal-rich soils had root systems up to 50% deeper, with significantly higher drought resistance and pest resilience. No store-bought fertilizer can match that natural partnership. This method is honestly flexible enough to use almost anywhere. In raised beds that have slumped or dried out, burying leaves slowly rebuilds the soil from within. In in-ground gardens that struggle after long summers, leaf burial restores moisture and attracts earthworms. Even in patio containers, slipping a handful of damp leaves just beneath the potting mix helps improve drainage and extend moisture retention. The best time to start is autumn, when leaves fall freely, but you can apply it in spring as well, burying leaves a few weeks before planting. In either case, the process is gentle, quiet, and low effort, making it a perfect fit for gardeners who want results without strain. In the first few weeks, don't expect dramatic changes above ground. The transformation begins quietly below. Earthworms will appear in areas that were once lifeless. Soil will start holding water like a sponge. Plants will stand taller with greener leaves. Some gardeners worry that buried leaves will rob nitrogen from the soil. While this is true if fresh leaves are mixed directly into active root zones, studies from the University of Illinois Extension confirm that when buried a few inches below and allowed to settle for a few weeks, leaves decompose without disturbing crops. Think of it as an underground savings account for soil fertility rather than an immediate deposit. Not long ago, a gardener named Betty tried this trick in her tired tomato bed. At 72, she wasn't keen on hauling compost bags or flipping piles. Instead, she gathered sugar maple leaves from her own yard, tucked them beneath 6 inches of soil, watered and walked away. By spring, her tomatoes were thriving and the soil crumbled in her hands like rich cake. For her, it wasn't just a gardening success, but a return of joy. Watching her plants respond with strength and abundance to such a simple act. Every leaf buried is more than just garden maintenance. It's a contribution to the land's future. The USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service emphasizes that returning leaf litter to the soil improves biodiversity, reduces erosion, and protects groundwater. By choosing this path, you're not only creating fertile soil for yourself, but also passing on resilience to the generations that come after. The legacy of healthy soil lasts beyond one season. The leaves you return today may feed tomatoes, beans, or flowers for your grandchildren tomorrow. That's the quiet, enduring promise hidden in something most people rake away. The best fertilizer doesn't come from a bag. It falls from the trees every year, waiting for someone to notice. Burying leaves may not be flashy, but it is one of the most powerful natural ways to build soil that lives, breathes, and nourishes without fuss. So next time autumn leaves scatter across your garden, don't bag them up. Don't send them to the curb. Tuck them gently into your soil, water them, and let nature do the rest. If you found this guide valuable, subscribe to Timeless Crops Haven and share it with a fellow gardener. Together, we can revive forgotten wisdom and build gardens that thrive naturally for years to come.